Hey guys, Hades here. We're going to talk about Alaska again. This will be the second out of two of these, Alaska B. Last time we ended talking about the Aurora Borealis. Okay, let's get into today's lesson. What is the highest elevation in Alaska? Where do you think that ranks in the U.S.? Where do you think that ranks in North America? Where do you think that ranks in the world? We're going to call this Mount McKinley for the moment. I'll talk more about it in a second. Mount McKinley is the highest elevation in Alaska. It ranks as the highest peak in the United States. It is also the highest peak in North America. The mountain is referred to as Denali in the local native language of these people. Let's give it a try. Kyokan Athabaskan people. It also has other names from other tribes. Now keep in mind, it's been changed back to Denali now. But the information I found a few years ago when I did this still called it Mount McKinley. However, it's mostly referred to as Denali now, with a few people still referring to it as Mount McKinley. We are going to get a little sidetracked here. Although it has the highest peak in North America, Mount McKinley is dwarfed by over 200 other peaks, most of which are in Asia. Okay, so check this out, the 7 summits. These are the highest summits in each of the continents. Let's see here. All right, see Mount McKinley in North America, it's higher than Oceania, or Australia, I should say. It's higher than Europe. It's higher than Kilimanjaro in Africa. And it's higher than the mountain in Antarctica. However, South America's got a higher mountain, and Everest is the tallest peak on Earth, and most of the other taller peaks than McKinley are also in Asia. But it's interesting. Look at the very bottom in the center. You'll see the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is pretty big, and how big these peaks are in comparison to that. What do you think the average temperature is in Alaska? What do you think the record high and record low temperatures are in Alaska? Alaska is so big that different areas have different temperatures. In the Arctic Circle, it can snow year-round and the temperature doesn't often fluctuate. The highest temperature ever recorded in Alaska is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 37.8 degrees Celsius. The lowest temperature ever recorded is negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is negative 62.2 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, it could get a little warm there in summer sometimes, and also it could get very, very cold. What is a glacier? Where does the word glacier come from? What is the adjective form of the word glacier? A glacier is a persistent body of dense ice that is moving under its own weight, often causing monstrous crevasses and canyons in the Earth's surface, and occurs when an area receives more snow than can melt in a year. So basically, if you want to put it very simply, a glacier is a big block of ice. Glacial is the adjective form of the word glacier. Glacier comes from the Latin word glacies, which means ice. Some believe that global warming is causing the glaciers to melt at too quickly a speed, resulting in the oceans becoming too full. What animals do you think of when you think of Alaska? What is the national animal of the United States? How many penguins are killed every year by polar bears? The wildlife in Alaska is too numerous. There's too many species to go into great detail for this PPT. We will look at a few animals that Alaska is most well known for having. The American bald eagle is a national animal of the United States. The bald eagle is native to North America. It is currently an endangered species, meaning there's not a lot of them left. They call it the bald eagle because bald means a person who has no hair. His head would be bald, right? And because of this eagle has white feathers on its head and then brown feathers on the rest of its body, it looks like it's bald, like it lost all its hair or lost all its feathers on its head. Wolves. At one point, Alaska was the only state to still have wolves left in it. Now, however, they've been reintroduced to the lower 48. So I believe Wyoming, Montana, there's a few wolf packs in the lower 48 now. Wolves are social by nature and survive by living in a pack. Hades thinks wolves are cool. Probably my favorite animal. I like wolves. No, I don't want a pet wolf, but I think they're very beautiful creatures. Grizzly bears are considered the most dangerous toward and aggressive toward humans. A grizzly bear's bite and jaw muscles are so powerful that it could crush a bowling ball. So, grizzly bears kill more people than any other bears. Salmon are a common fish in Alaska, but also other parts of the world. Some salmon will swim over 900 miles, which is about 1,400 kilometers upstream just to mate and die. They are a primary food source for Alaskan bears and other wildlife. Yeah, so salmon are born in rivers. Then they swim out to the ocean. They live about 3 years. Then on their 3rd year, they swim back up to where they were born. And they mate, and then they just die. Interesting life cycle, I think, for that fish. Polar bears live in the Arctic Circle and slightly out of it at times. They spend many months every year at sea. They are the only bears to be completely carnivorous. Can you guess why? Polar bears eat only meat because there's usually no vegetation available to them in their natural habitat. All they can eat is meat because there's no vegetables to eat, no plants to eat where they live. Polar bears eat 0 penguins every year because they reside at opposite ends of the earth, right? Polar bears are at the North Pole and penguins are at the South Pole. And polar bears are the most aggressive bear, but grizzly bears kill more people because grizzly bears live closer to people and come in more contact with people. If more polar bears came in contact with people, they would probably kill more people than grizzly bears. We have already looked at some of the activities that are popular for locals and tourists alike, including viewing wildlife, glaciers, and the aurora borealis. What other activities do you think are popular in Alaska? Some other activities: fishing, hiking, skiing or snowboarding, kayaking, river rafting, hunting, cruises, independent flights, and climbing. Now, independent flights, there's a lot of areas of Alaska you can't see, right? There's no roads that get there. So a lot of people will hire a pilot, and this pilot will fly them out to places that you can't get to by roads. There's just no roads going there. So that's a popular thing to do. If you go to Alaska, bring money. If you like nature, bring money for a flight. Have you heard of dog sledding? What is it? What do you think the Iditarod is? What is a husky? A husky is a type of domestic dog that, due to its thick fur, can adapt well to sub-zero temperatures. Malamutes are also used for dog sledding. Dog sledding is the act of having dogs pull a person in a sled through the snow. The Iditarod is an annual dog sled race that started in 1973. It lasts anywhere from 9 to 15 days. People and dogs in the race often suffer sub-zero temperatures, so temperatures below zero. So they suffer sub-zero temperatures and blizzards. A blizzard is a powerful snowstorm. The route of the Iditarod varies from year to year, but is roughly 1,100 miles or 1,700 kilometers. Parts of the Iditarod were actually used by native Eskimos in years past. What is an Eskimo? Eskimos are native Alaskans that formed up many tribes. The most well-known is the Inuit. Eskimos, like polar bears, survived by being strictly carnivores for many centuries. The Eskimos no longer practiced their traditional ways as the lifestyle was too severe and they often died very young. Now, I say that, but they could still probably build igloos and such. They still have knowledge about it, but they don't live like their lives that way anymore. It was a rough life. And as soon as other peoples came along and introduced them to easier ways to live, they kind of gave up that lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, some of them may still very well do it as sport and to keep up tradition, but most of them don't live that way anymore. The Eskimos used to build their houses out of ice, calling them igloos. All right, did you learn anything today? Then I complain about how long it took me to put this together. Actually, 6 hours isn't so bad. Some other PowerPoints took me longer. All right, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you are from Alaska and you see that I've gotten something wrong, let me know in the comments. If you're bored and have nothing to do, leave a comment. All right, guys, this will conclude my little PowerPoint on Alaska. Let me know if you want me to do some other states. I don't have all 50 states, but I do have California, Hawaii, Nevada. I think that's it. Just 3 more, but let me know if you're interested in those. Okay, that'll wrap it up. Again, any questions, put them in the comments. Thank you so much, you guys. Enjoy yourselves. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.